Greetings my dears in love and light. I'm Nikki Sutton and this is a March energy update for you. I hope you like my surroundings at the moment. I thought I'd do some videos from the seated position. We'll see how that goes. Looks quite homely, I'm thinking. Let me know in the comments what you reckon. Okay then, so this March energy update. I think towards the end of February there was a lot of chest infections and sore throats, and this can often be when we attract a virus in this area is being overworked, perhaps cleansing out. So there's quite a bit of cleansing out of the heart chakra, moving into the throat, communication of love and understanding. So we may have been feeling a bit blocked in our heart, and now it should start to be loosening, moving into March. So number one on this March energy update for you is that emotions might still be getting exacerbated though. We might still be feeling a bit up and down. See, the energies we're moving into, they'll exacerbate existing emotions still. And this is going to be kind of an ongoing theme really throughout this year. Very strong energies in this part of the galaxy that we're moving into. So if you're quite a loving person, you'll feel more loving. If you're quite chilled out, you'll feel more chilled out. If you're feeling angry, anxious, sad, shameful, anything like that, or problems with self-esteem, it might be exacerbated for you. So we need to do the usual things: self-care, meditation, get out in nature and reset to that default matrix, how nature is supposed to be the default of our reality. Get out into nature for you. Salt baths, sun gazing, grounding outside, lots of these great things, eating nice and healthy, keeping your crystals washed and recharged so that you can use them effectively. There might be sudden bursts of stress as well, and you might have been experiencing this already. So we all know that when a full moon comes along, the emotions can suddenly go off the charts. But I think with stress particularly, this has been happening. We might be picking up the energies of others, and I think also there's quite a bit of electromagnetic interference. I don't know if you ever look at the sky and you see that rippling effect in the clouds. Many believe that these are electromagnetic waves that are being sent out to us to help control us. I don't want to make you fear or anything, but again, this might be causing some stress at certain points in time. So keep an eye on the skies. Often you can tell if something funny is going on by what the clouds are doing actually. Alright, so you might be experiencing some little bouts of stressfulness, might just last an evening or so. Take a nice warm bath, go to bed, wake up. It's usually much better in the morning. Okay, so number two is all to do with past lives. Now, a lot of people have been saying that their past lives have been repeating on them. Why would that be? You know, the timelines are collapsing and our perception of time is changing. As we're ascending and moving into the fourth density, 5D, whatever you term it yourself, our perception of time is somewhat changing because where we're going, time does not have such a bearing. So instead of perceiving day after day after day, hour after hour after hour in the usual way, yes, it speeds up as we get older, but we can lose whole days. We can lose a whole part of a day. So it's like time is collapsing in on itself. So that's another thing that's happening, that we're losing time. But don't worry, it doesn't mean your life's going quicker, it's just your perception of time. You'll be able to perceive the future more easily. I'll get onto that in a minute. But with these past lives, it means that time is sort of folding up. And the way that past lives will bleed through to you is that you might feel like you're someone else. You might feel like you have the emotions of someone else or the skills of someone else. You might feel like you are a soldier or something when you're not. You might feel like you're a maid or a cook or a healer or a wood chopper or something. You might feel like you're an extraterrestrial from another planet. So it's this feeling of feeling like someone else, or feeling like you've got unresolved issues from someone else, or that instinctively you know that any issues you're having today might be as a result of some previous lifetime, because time is folding up and you're feeling these symptoms. Number 3 on this March energy update is that the mass consciousness is having more of an effect on us in terms of having ideas. Now, we know that oftentimes things are invented at the same time. You have inventors inventing the same things at the same time because ideas are plopped into the mass consciousness, maybe from an external source, or someone thinks of it and that's quickly shared among everyone else, because we're all connected, we're all one. So this seems to be really ramping up at the moment. So you might come upon an idea or be thinking about something. Let's say, I need to get more pyramid shaped crystals, for example, that'll help me with healing. And what can I learn about those and their shape and how they magnify and focus the energy? So you might have this idea, and then you'll go online and you'll see other people are talking about it, but you didn't see that before. You didn't pick that up before. You may have woken up in the morning and just had the idea, and then you see other people are talking about it, or your friends are talking about it. So I think the mass consciousness, it's becoming so accessible. And those barriers, those egotistical barriers that we've had before our awakening, they've gone away or going away. And that makes it so that the intuition can come through so freely, so easily, that these thoughts and ideas just pop into our minds. This is what it feels like. It's thoughts that just come to us. And it feels like they're our own, but really they've been shared. Or you may have had the idea first and then share it, who knows. So this is happening more frequently. Right, number 4 on this March energy update is a feeling of being trapped. So some people have been complaining of feeling trapped. Now, this may be due to an impatience of wanting things to change. You want this new earth to come into being. Well, it is happening. It is going that way. You know that even conspiracy theories are going mainstream. You know, there's articles about conspiracies in the mainstream media. Not that I look at it too much. You might see an article where there's a zany conspiracy theory about this, and then they talk about it. You know, conspiracy theories, that term is very mainstream. So that's going to cause people to look at it and say, well, what is that? Oh, they're just crazy. But then they might see one or hear one that triggers their truth alarm bells. And they think, well, maybe that's something. And that can lead to an awakening. Conspiracy theories can lead to spiritual awakenings because we realise that our true nature has been suppressed and all that we can do. We realise we've been in a perceptual box. Anyway, where was I? Feeling trapped. So we might be feeling trapped because of this impatience due to wanting things to change. But they are changing, they are moving forward. And practicing patience through meditation will help. But in addition, there's a new you that's coming through. You had your acute phase of your awakening. And you've been through that. And you're a different person to what you were before. You're changing probably quite quickly now, and you're thinking, wow, you know, I have changed so much in the last couple of years. And that new you wants new conditions, it wants new surroundings, it might want new friends, it might want to do he or she might want to do different pastimes, might have different goals, aims, objectives, everything you perceive is different. So you might feel trapped because if you're still in your old life, but a new you, well, that can be a tricky pill to swallow, and you might want to shake things up a bit. So a feeling of being trapped can arise because we're changing, and yet our surroundings, our conditions, and who we're with, you know, might not be evolving with us. Number 5 is casting off more old ideas. This seems to be happening, and I think it's going to be happening into March, because the consciousness is raising, that the consciousness is changing. We're realising more stuff more quickly. So we might have had old ideas like, I need to wear a bra, or I need to wear lots of makeup, or I need to keep the house super clean, or I need to work in a certain job, that's what I've always done, or I need to go to 9 to 5, or I need to do this, I need to do that. Anything that you've been told you need to do, things you've always done. But there's more of this letting go of this and that, letting go of what doesn't serve you, because your old perceptions are changing and your old beliefs are leaving you, and you're reshaping your life for yourself. Number 6 on this March energy update, as I mentioned earlier about the time folding in on itself. I don't know if you've seen that movie, Arrival. Some people said it wasn't that great, but I think it was really, really good, and it's definitely a disclosure movie. So a lot of it is about the perception of time and how she started to have premonitions of the future. You don't realise they're her premonitions, but later you realise she's seeing the future. Now this is what it's like. It's a perception in the mind. It's like having past memories, but you have future memories. So you might be having these visuals pop into your mind of something that you perceive as going to happen or might happen, and you just assume it's daydreaming, just imagining a future. But really, as you move through time, if you really pay attention, you see that that thing kind of came true. I mean, the mind fills in the gaps with details. But that's the way you ended up going. Now, these are premonitions. Suddenly, this strong daydream will happen to you. You suddenly find you're out of it for a few seconds and you've imagined something. But you need to write these down. You see, all too often, we have a little premonition, and within 10 seconds it's forgotten, it's just forgotten, and then we get there and we might not even make that link. Oh, I already pictured this in my mind, or you might think, oh, I did daydream it, but you don't put 2 and 2 together. So it's when you have those visuals that just pop in there kind of intrusively and strongly and take you over, like your own eyes switch off for a moment and you're absorbed in your mind. You need to keep a diary and write these things down. And then you'll probably see that over time there's this pattern emerging, and that you do it far more than you realise. So our perception of time is changing in that way. I recommend you watch that movie Arrival. I know the aliens are a bit funny, but I'm talking about the perception of time she's having. If you didn't know, the Cabal often disclose things in movies in order not to infringe on our free will. So if they tell us the way things are, tell us what's going on, and we do nothing about it, they're not infringing on our free will. And that makes it so that we submit willingly, and we don't put up any resistance to it, and they can just walk all over us. It's a law of the universe, free will. If they tell us what's going on and we don't do anything about it, they can do whatever they like. And number 7 on this March energy update is finding yourself being a beacon of light. Now, you've gone through your awakening, and I've said before in other energy updates that, we're leading the way here, but what you might be finding is that you're actually helping people feel so much better, and you're helping support them. You might be helping to provide them with spiritual concepts on how to feel better, about meditation and resetting your mind to an empty default state, ideas about thoughts and perceptions and new ideas about reality. You might be helping them, and you're becoming a beacon of light, and that's likely what you're supposed to be doing. But I want to say to you today is that at first, especially in the first few years of your awakening, if you're finding your energy being drained, is to be very aware of that, and to make sure you recharge and you take time for yourself, take time out. As you go on, you get to a place in the self where you have sort of infinite energetic resources, infinite vital energies, where you can help people infinitely, and all it does is replenish you, and you just feel better and better. But until you reach that point, sometimes it can be a bit draining. So I say be mindful to be mindful and recharge your vital energies. And number 8 is on this March energy update is spirits of loved ones passed over, they might be visiting us more at the moment, or at least we're perceiving them more, because as our range of perceptions increase, and I said about time, but also the dimensions, the veil is thinning between those. We can sense our loved ones coming to visit us, and you might know they're there in the room with you because you might suddenly have that mummy feeling, or have that daddy feeling, or whoever it is that's passed on, or have that feeling that you used to get you when you were with that friend that passed away. That feeling, what it's like, how you felt when you were with them, or an image of them might pop in your mind, or you might sense a presence. So that's happening quite a bit. I think they're here to support us quite a bit at the moment. Things are changing, the energies are changing on Earth, and I think they're showing their support for us. So I hope you found this March energy update useful and perhaps resonated with some of it. Let me and others know in the comments what you've been experiencing as well leading up to this point, and how you feel things are going to be moving forward. Plus, if you do any card readings or anything like that you want to share with people, please leave them in the comments section too. That would be a really good place to put them. Support this Spiritual Awakening YouTube channel on Patreon and receive weekly bonus videos. You can also choose to receive spiritual guidance via email or spiritual sessions. And don't forget to click subscribe if you're not already a subscriber to receive regular spiritual inspiration on your journey through life. Like and share also, because we're raising the mass vibration together. So go now in love and peace.